Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. Well, it's Super Bowl Sunday, so I'm glad you guys are still tuning in and watching the stream. But I wanted to talk about this big week ahead for Bitcoin and crypto, because there are a lot of things that's going on right now, and I do believe this next week we need to prepare for volatility. Could be good, could be bad. But I do think we're going to see some major movement this week because there are a lot of things going on. So let's discuss what they are. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. 3 streams almost every day. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified. In case that doesn't work, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, article, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Some of you guys may have picked up that I did not stream last night. Just wasn't feeling it. Didn't know what to stream about. But luckily, I have videos on my other channels to keep you guys entertained. So hopefully you guys caught some of those. All right. So today, looking at Bitcoin starting out, it's the same point as yesterday, 42.2. You can see it's basically down $22. So not a whole lot of movement right now. This weekend, obviously since Friday, we had a little scare from US, Russia, Ukraine, right? I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But ever since we came down from there, pretty much just flat. So we're still kind of in a holding pattern. Looking at altcoins, they got a little weaker. You can see Bitcoin dominance on above jumped to 42.3%. I don't remember this for quite some time. Bitcoin dominance has been between 42.1 and all the way like 41.1. So some of the altcoins did sell off recently, but that's due to everything that's going on. So I want to talk about some of those things that will continue into this coming week. All right, let's start out with this. So very hyped up discussion between President Biden and President Putin that happened on Saturday, right? Happened, and that was it. We didn't hear about anything else afterwards. Was this a good discussion? Bad discussion? A nothing burger discussion? Maybe. But it appears that President Biden then called the leaders in NATO to discuss this military threat, which many still feel like is fake. There's a lot of people on both sides. One side thinking this is just U.S. spreading a lot of FUD on purpose. There's one side that believes that there's legitimacy to this. It's kind of hard to tell at this point. It's kind of hard to tell. And as an update, the U.S. is saying now Russia may create some kind of pretext to justify a Ukraine invasion, right? So we're throwing a lot of stuff out there. So who knows at this point, right? It does seem like this topic will continue forward into this week, of course. Who knows if this is going to happen this week, never going to happen, or maybe next week. We just don't know at this point. But on Saturday, I did show you guys. I don't have it up right now. Even if we do go into this conflict, and this is not going to be war, right? President Biden already said he's not going to go to war over this, but he's going to make sure there's like strict sanctions against Russia if they do decide to invade. But looking at previous wars that U.S. has been in terms of the overall number of days, in terms of a market weakness, I guess, okay, lasted about 22 days. And recovery was about 43 days. So actually, there was turmoil during those times, but the markets recovered really fast afterwards. So can we see something like that happen if this does result in an invasion? Sure. Or maybe it results in nothing. I just don't know at this point, right? But this is definitely something a lot of people are looking at right now, whether or not this is legit, whether or not it's really going to happen or what. It is something that we have to pay attention to. So we're probably going to get more details of this coming week. Now, besides geopolitical stuff like this, the other thing we need to look at this week is the Federal Reserve. because there is going to be a closed meeting that's going to be happening right on Monday. And, of course, there's a lot of things that they're going to have to talk about, right? In terms of all the numbers that they have to digest, the inflation number that came up higher than expected. And this coming week, there's going to be more economic reports or data that's coming out, so they have to take that into account. They may even have to take the tension, right? The geopolitical nature of right now into the discussion. There's a lot of things that there's going to be discussing, right? So this is obviously a precursor to what's going to come in March. So this will be a big thing. Now, I don't know. I'm not quite sure if they're going to release any notes or anything from this discussion, or whether or not they're going to even speak about it at all. But this is definitely something that is going to be on Wall Street's mind in terms of what they may do. And something that relates to this is the St. Louis Fed President, James Bullard. He appeared on CNBC, and he is going to be on CNBC on Monday, but that's because he was really, really, really hawkish, saying that the Fed, meaning Powell, needs to raise rates by 100 basis points or 1% at least by July, which means that probably 50 basis points in March and another 50 basis points or maybe 25 basis points in April and May or April and June or whatever. But he is being very, very hawkish at this point, and he believes that the Federal Reserve needs to do the same thing. Okay? So we will see. This is definitely, again, something else that we have to pay attention to this week. There's a lot of stuff that's happening this week. There's just a lot of stuff happening this week. Also, what's happening this week are more earning reports. Earnings from several significant companies that will tell you and kind of forecast how 2022 will be and how it has been in 2021. For example, NVIDIA, which is a giant powerhouse, right? They are reporting on Wednesday. And this will be very telling because AMD came out with spectacular earnings 2 weeks ago. And ever since then, they've been sold off like crazy. So even though they had really good earnings, they jumped up at the beginning, they've been selling off. But NVIDIA, which is like 3 times the size of AMD at this point, I think this will be something that a lot of people look forward to in terms of the shortage, the semiconductor shortage, whether or not that's improving, the supply chain of everything's improving or not. I think a lot of people are going to be looking at that. But also on Thursday, Walmart's going to be reporting, and this is basically going to give you a general view of how the economy is and retail spending and just overall a lot of like small details in terms of what Americans are doing. Are they spending? Are they saving? Right? And then there's others. There's so many others out there that's coming aboard, right? Reporting. So there's a few earnings that's coming out this week, not right at the beginning, but toward the midweek that will be very telling that I believe a lot of investors will be looking at in terms of determining or forecasting whether or not 2022 is going to get better or worse. So there you go. There's something else. So that's like 3 things right there, right? There's 3 things right there. Someone's asking about Super Bowl ad. Hold your horses. And no, I don't think it will. All right. So besides those things, there's something else that's going on that's crypto positive related, right? And that is EthDever, which actually has been going since the 11th. Okay. But this week will be a very, a main week for many things. For example, Colorado governor is going to be talking about, he's one of the speakers within EthDever, and he's going to talk about how the state could be utilizing blockchain, right? So this obviously very positive. Overall shows that a lot of politicians, a lot of states are starting to look at blockchain and crypto in a different light. They're not viewing it as a tool just for malicious behavior or illicit behavior, but no, as a tool that could benefit the people of the state or of their territory, right? So this is coming. So EthDever is, of course, continuing. If you can't figure out, EthDever is just, it's the largest Ethereum conference, okay? So in case you couldn't figure that out. And there's other things that may come from this. It's highly rumored that Algorand will be talking about their new chain, C3 chain, which is an EVM-compatible chain that's going to be built on top of Algorand. It's highly rumored that this will be coming out or announced this week too. So that would be pretty positive. Also, Polkadot is also having presence. They're offering 15K bounties at EthDever. And this may seem weird, but know that Polkadot, Gavin Wood, the founder of Polkadot, was a co-founder of Ethereum. So obviously still kind of loyal to Ethereum. There's a lot of Ethereum developers that really like Gavin Wood and Polkadot. And also, let's not forget Moonbeam, which is one of the parachains on Polkadot, is also focused on EVM, Ethereum compatibility, and their smart contracts. And this is right on top of Polkadot. So there's a lot of connections there, right? So that's the fourth thing that's happening this week, is that EthDever could bring some pretty spectacular news to crypto overall, okay? So something else we have to look forward to. But in the meantime, though, I guess something that's good and bad, Hanser appreciated, is this. Ethereum, their gas fees is the lowest right now, the lowest we have seen in the past 6 months. So this is good and bad in a way. It's good because it means that if you're trying to trade on a DEX, if you're trying to buy an NFT, for example, right, things are pretty cheap, relatively speaking. I was looking at it. The transaction fee is still like between $10 to $20, so it's not sub pennies or anything, but it is cheaper than the $100, $200 days we have seen for transactions. However, what's the reason behind that, right? I think that's where the bad comes in, is because I was looking at overall NFT volume here has dropped significantly. I don't know if this is that true, but over the last 24 hours, it dropped 58%. So that could explain it. So if NFT volume on Ethereum right now has dropped that much, that significant from its peaks, then it kind of makes sense that a lot of congestion disappeared, right? So that could be the reason. But overall, I don't think that's a good thing. We want to actually see Ethereum with high gas fees, although that I know that sounds bad or counterintuitive, but that does show that volume is there. If the gas fees drop at this point, that means the volume is not there. So just to throw that out there. But anyways, a lot of excitement in terms of what could be coming. Okay. There's also, besides this, there's also other good news. Why whale purchases OTC doesn't pump BTC? Charles, here's the thing. Do you think a whale buying Bitcoin wants to pump BTC? They don't want to pump BTC. When Michael Saylor purchases his 100 million, 200 million worth of BTC, do you think he wants to pump Bitcoin? No. He actually works with Coinbase and spreads out his buys 1,000 different ways, 10,000 different ways to make sure the price doesn't move. And that's the difference between whales that are buying BTC and whales that are selling BTC. Whales are selling BTC usually due to either panic or because they want the price to drop on purpose to cause FUD so they could buy lower. Whales that are buying BTC, they're trying to buy it at the cheapest price. They don't want it to pump while they're buying, right? So that's why they spread out their buys thousands and thousands of ways. So that's the reason why. But I've been showing you guys, there are a lot of whales that's buying right now. A lot of whales buying. All right. Now, what else is there that's good news? Well, remember the infrastructure bill. The infrastructure bill, a lot of panic over it before because what's defined as a broker was loosely defined. And many people thought that miners and stakers would be considered a money broker. But the Treasury Department, so we got a win actually from Janet Yellen that actually stated that they define miners and stakers are not brokers. So this is a big win that I don't think a lot of people is talking about. So now this whole, the whole FUD about how miners like Bitcoin miners, Ethereum miners, stakers, if you're staking in any of your favorite projects, right, you have to define and disclose all that, disclose all the transactions, disclose KYC information or gather KYC information. Goes away. So this is actually a big win. It's not official, but this is sent back to Congress so that they can redefine and amend the bill so that it's clearly defined. So that's pretty positive. That's really positive, but not a whole lot of talk about this. So this is also good. Bitcoin's hash rate continues to go higher and higher and higher. In fact, it just made a huge jump, like an enormous jump. And it's only going to go up from here. I believe it was Marathon, either Marathon or Riot, that posted their schedule for 2022 in terms of how many machines and hash power is going to be coming aboard mid and end of 2022. And it was going to go up like 10x. They have purchased so many mining machines, and they're finally coming aboard, and they're going to start spinning them up really, really quickly. And every single miner is doing that. So just know that Bitcoin is the only crypto out there where the price actually follows the hash. That shows you the conviction and faith that the miners have. Regardless of price fluctuation, they continue to mine and mine because they know it's scarce and there's a set supply, and you want to collect as many as possible while you still can. With every other network out there, that's not the case. Not even Ethereum at this point. Every other mineable crypto, the hash rate follows the price. It always does. Bitcoin is the only one, the one exception. So that means hash rate going up is a very good thing. It's a very good thing that the price will follow. So there's that. What else is there? A lot of you guys talking about Super Bowl, wondering Superbowl commercials go pump up the underlying coins or crypto overall. No, I don't think it will. Binance, FTX, Coinbase, Crypto.com, eToro, Bybit, they're all going to be running Super Bowl ads. I don't know how Watcher Guru knows that, but some of these are public. But will this pump up Binance coin, or this pump up FTT coin, or pump up CRO? I don't think so. There's no reason to. I mean, these commercials are pretty much just spreading awareness, right? It's not causing FOMO for people to say, okay, Crypto.com is having this commercial with Tom Brady or whoever. No, that's FTX. Matt Damon. I'm going to go buy Crypto.com coins. No, it's going to help the crypto overall. It may get people to want to buy crypto, but not necessarily Crypto.com coin, right? So I know a lot of people keep asking me, is this go pump up Crypto.com or go pump up whoever? No, it's not, but it's good for the ecosystem, that's for sure, right? The more awareness, the more attention, better it is. Hopefully these are good commercials. It's highly rumored that Coinbase will announce their NFT marketplace. So that could be a big thing. Look forward to that. And the one connection right now is that NFT marketplace may be utilizing Polygon's network. And if so, that's going to bring a whole lot of traffic to Polygon. So keep that in the back of your mind. That is the one connection there that could definitely help, I guess, the project if this is announced, right? So there you go. Now, FTX, though, does also have something big to announce, but they already pre-announced it. So a lot of you guys are into stocks, right? You hold stocks, you trade stocks. FTX.us, and this is what's surprising. It's not FTX.com, which is the international exchange, but no, the American branch, the FTX.us, will be offering stock trading in the future. They will be the very first regulated U.S. exchange, or crypto exchange, I should say, that's going to be offering stock trading. I don't know how they did it, but they did it, and this is coming. And I talked to my rep, and he's like, it's either this month or next month. It's coming soon. This is not something that's going to be like 6 months or a year out. So this may also be announced during the Super Bowl. Again, right? So FTX is just really blowing up, and they're really trying to separate themselves from everyone else, and this is going to be huge. This is going to be absolutely huge for FTX. All right, what else is there? I think that's pretty much it. The only other thing I want to talk about is this. I didn't want to talk about it, but so many people email me, so I feel compelled to talk about it. But supposedly there is this IRA company called IRA Financial. I've never heard of them before. They only have 877 followers on Twitter, which means they are definitely a small company. But I'm shocked that so many people have emailed me about this. I don't know if they actually watch me or they want me to talk about it. But unfortunately, this IRA Financial was hacked in some way, and many people lost their crypto that was held in IRA Financial, right? Now, looking at IRA Financial, if you look at the website, there's not a whole lot of talks about anything. Like the security policies, the custodians, there's a lot of stuff. The only thing they say is they have a partnership with Gemini. And I don't even believe that's a real partnership. I think they somehow integrates into Gemini's API so that you could actually just pull your crypto from there. But there's a lot of people, unfortunately, that have lost out a lot on this. So I feel compelled to say it. And then they wrote this letter saying that they're going to try to contact everyone that was affected, but there's no talk about recourse or refunds or anything like that. And this may end up just shutting down the company overall. But I bring this up because a lot of people are affected. If you were, then definitely reach out to IRA Financial and make sure that you are working with them and possibly compensated. Or if there's any kind of shenanigans or something that happened, right, then there could be a class action lawsuit or an investigation into the company. So just want to mention that. But this does bring me to the company that I've been working with, right, ITrustCapital, which is very different. So I've already talked to ITrustCapital. I'm like, hey, you guys need to make a statement about what happened to IRA Financial so that you could reassure people that you guys are not the same company. And they are not. They are not. They are much bigger, much more reliable, much more backed, I should say, in every single way. So ITrustCapital, who I am partnered up with, is not the same company. They are over $1 billion in valuation. They are backed by some of the biggest companies out there. And in terms of custodian, which is their security, they are using both Coinbase and Fireblocks. And Coinbase is considered the industry's best, with a 320 million insurance policy, and Fireblocks with a 30 million, although Fireblocks is also very legit because they are the ones that Celsius uses. So ITrustCapital definitely holds everything in cold storage, and you know what? They're just a different company. And I've asked them to put out a statement. They said they will. They'll be working on it. So they're going to come out with a big statement on how they are very different than some of the other ones that you just can't rely on. So just be careful. Just be careful. All right, guys. That's pretty much it, I think. Yeah, that's it. All right, let's do some Q&A. Oh, I see a lot of people talk about Shib and Doge. I forgot. There's one thing. I have it up somewhere. Maybe I closed it. Shoot. Yeah, supposedly Microsoft tweeted something very cryptic about dog coins. So it got a lot of people excited. I closed the article, unfortunately. Maybe I could bring it up real quick. So there's this like cryptic tweet. I don't know how legit it is. I found it. It's right here. So take a look at this. There are two types of dogs on Teams meetings. Now, there's no crypto or anything. There's no mention of crypto or anything, but it's a very strange tweet, right? So I don't know. This got a lot of people very excited about Shib and Doge. I don't know if anything's gonna come from this, but I did see this, so thought I mention it. All right. Carp, I'm not going to look at that. That name is just ridiculous. The name is just ridiculous. Do you have a preferred wallet for storing and viewing IM Georgia NFTs? I only have CNFTs so far. I'm not sure how it works with other chains. Just go with MetaMask. With basically every other chain, you use MetaMask. MetaMask supports Polygon and Ethereum and Avalanche, and basically it could support any chain, but Harmony, Phantom, so Sean, just go with MetaMask. Scrolling up, making sure I don't miss any chats here. Have I gotten into VV NFTs? No, I have not. I have not. The CEO of Moderna dumped all Moderna stock and deleted his social media accounts. Are you just trying to spread FUD there? Because I don't believe that's true. Did I look at Proton and Metal? No, I sure did not. All right. Am I bullish for the next few weeks? I'm going to say no. I'm more neutral because I think we need to see a couple things happen. We need to get clarity on what Wall Street is going to do about this impending rate hike that's coming next month, right? I think that's going to be a big thing. That's going to be a big market mover. And also this Ukraine invasion thing, whether or not we're going to get over that. We're going to get clarity on it's going to happen, it's not going to happen, right? So until we get clarity on both of those things, I feel like the market's just going to go sideways. I don't think it's going to do anything. But that's short term. That's short term. Long term, I remain bullish. I remain bullish because for both of those cases, right? Buying Bitcoin is the best way to handle it. If you think about it, right? Rate hikes, what is it trying to do, right? Trying to curb inflation. What's the best way to park your money and store your wealth in something that is not affected by inflation? Well, it's Bitcoin. And I've gotten emails recently saying, oh, it's obvious Bitcoin is not a hedge against inflation. Look at what happened in the last few weeks, right? That's just stupid. I don't even bother emailing back because if you're just looking at a hedge against inflation for like 2 weeks, then you're doing it wrong. You got to look at it over years, right? Look at what has happened over the last decade. What has outperformed Bitcoin? Nothing. So arguably it's the best hedge against inflation. I mean, let's just look at it that way, right? And then also the conflict, with the U.S.-Ukraine conflict, right? Well, I mean, there's a lot of citizens in Ukraine that's very, very worried. If it happens, well, what are you going to do with the money, right? What are you going to do? Can you get it out? Is it going to all be confiscated? Is it going to be shut down? Can you transfer it, right? Can you get money in if you need to help people? Well, the best way is to utilize Bitcoin for all of those things. So, again, that would be good. And, I mean, other things, Russia already said that they're pro-Bitcoin. I mean, Putin is pro-Bitcoin. That's also pretty positive, too. So there's a lot of things. And even the U.S. government owns Bitcoin. So think about that. $4 billion worth after confiscating it from the two hackers, right? But even the U.S. government owns Bitcoin now. So long term, very, very bullish. Short term, I think it's going to be maybe a lot of sideways until we get clarity on these two things. What do you think about using Soulflare and Nano? I'm not familiar with Soulflare. I think they're a DeFi project that integrates with Nano, but I'm not familiar with them. Let's see. Universe, you're just making shit up at this point. So I'm gonna put you in timeout for making stuff up. Can I look at apocalyptic ape NFTs? No, I cannot. Vegas, appreciate that super sticker. Levels of madness. Thanks for a laugh. Am I going to do market opens all week? This week, possibly. I mean, people still enjoy it. I think. I mean, the feedback has been pretty good so far, so I'll continue doing it until people don't enjoy it anymore. But I still think there's that correlation. One day, we won't have that correlation with Bitcoin and markets, with the U.S. equity markets. Then, I may not do it anymore. But it does give me some more freedom to talk about things that's different. Some things that's more interesting to me, right? But overall, connecting the dots and connecting back to crypto, which I don't think anyone does. Ulysses, big super chat, appreciate it. Do I think Austin Martin has a shot at F1 constructors title? I don't follow F1 racing. I don't know. There's something about Austin Martins, okay? I don't know how they're doing F1. They could be doing fantastic. In terms of regular cars, you know, their DB and the other one they have, they don't. And then they came out the DBX, their SUV. They don't sell well. You know, like last few years, right? Every single car started going up in value. MSR selling above MSRP, especially exotic cars. They're like double the price, 50% higher, and they're so hard to get, right? But you know what's not hard to get is Austin Martins. You could stroll into an Austin Martin dealership and get any car that you want there because no one wants them. That's the funny thing. They can't elevate themselves, at least from a brand perspective, to equal, you know, a Ferrari or a Lambo or a McLaren or anyone else, even though they're priced the same way. So I don't know. Just throwing that out there. DT, I was wondering what you think about staking versus providing liquidity. I mean, in essence, they're the same. Providing liquidity, I call it staking too. But providing liquidity, there's obviously more risk. And with more risk, there's more rewards, which is why APR is much higher. Right? With staking, it's less risky, but there's still risk because obviously whatever the rewards you're getting back could go down in value. What you're staking could go down in value. So, of course, there's risks. But I think both are what everyone should be looking at if you're in it for a long haul. If you're going to be holding Bitcoin or Ethereum or Terra, Solana, Avalanche, doesn't matter what, right? If you're going to be holding it with the up and downs, why would you not park it and just earn rewards anyways, right? So that's why I think both are very, very important and very useful. All right, Dustin just asked the question that I just answered before. Will CRO pump from tonight's commercials? No. The answer is no. Illuvium, good to buy. You know what? I have big promise for that project. So we just got to wait until the game is done. I mean, basically, that's what it is. MMF just launched their Tomb 4 called Savannah. Finance raised $25 million on Launchpad. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Crypto, okay. But if you keep telling me to look up Metal and Proton, it's going to make me think that they're garbage. When someone is so adamant about me looking at something, that means they're either very desperate or they're part of the team. Do I own silver or gold? No. No, I do not. Besides the gold in my watches. That's it. That's it. Rally, I'm neutral on them right now. Gala Music. Well, Gala has been doing well. Obviously, the partnership with Snoop Dogg is going to elevate them a little bit more in terms of music space. But you know what? This is why metaverses right now is still early. Because there's a lot of stuff that you could do. Seems silly right now with all these avatars and stuff like that, but just wait. It will expand from where it is now to something that possibly that everyone could use in the future, just like the internet. It's just that we're just not there yet. I got my Treasure cold wallet. I sent $100 BTC and the fees were $25. Does that sound reasonable? What's the normal rate to send BTC? That does not sound reasonable. So you did something wrong there. That's Treasure doesn't control that. That's the Bitcoin network. I don't know how you sent it, but there's no way sending $100 fees. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if you send $1 billion or basically $100. It's basically based on network congestion. And right now, there's not a lot of network congestion on Bitcoin's network. So I don't know what happened there. You may want to tune. You could pick the gas fee that you're paying. So you may want to adjust it downwards. Sebastiano, I have 100K and 529 advisory for my kids' future. Should I keep it there or take it out, pay the penalties, and buy Bitcoin? I can't tell you that, man. And if you're thinking about that, then you're really thinking about yourself over your kids at this point, right? So, yeah, I'm not going to answer that question. That kind of question is like, oh, should I take out an equity loan on my house and buy crypto with it? That to me, no, you should not do that. You're risking it then. You're putting too much risk on yourself, and that's just stupid. So no. I love that you're not talking about leverage. I mean, unfortunately, leverage exists. Almost every single exchange has it, right? Every single exchange has it. It's a really easy way for them to make money. Whether you win or lose with leverage, they will win. They collect the fees, right? But, unfortunately, there's just a lot of gamblers out there, a lot of people that want to take it. And, if you have a ton of money, you go put in a little bit of leverage. Okay, fine. You get wrecked, it's not going to wreck you on that. But too many people put all of it into leverage and just like wreck themselves, right? And then they start blaming others for it. So that's why I don't like leverage. But it exists. It exists just like everything else. And you could choose to do whatever you want with your money, but all those liquidations, they happen daily. Daily. So many liquidations on both sides. All right, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. Go enjoy Superbowl commercials. Should be kicking in right about now. I don't know who's going to win. Not paying attention to either team, so they're not the teams I follow, so I don't really care who wins. But I do follow crypto, and there's a lot of events that's coming up this week that's going to affect things, I believe. You still have the Ukraine conflict. You still have the Fed decision. You have a lot of earnings. You have EthDever, along with everything else that may pop up this week. All right, so strap on. Smash up the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys. I'm not going to stream tonight because of Super Bowl. It'll be ridiculous to try to stream. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time for market open, and we'll see what happens with tomorrow's market. All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.